Hi there. Today what we're going to look at is how we can use input validation with an array. Now this is the final video I'm going to do with this one. We're getting 5 numbers that are between 1 and 6 and we're storing them in an array. The previous 2 example programs which you can go look up I think are a better solution than this one, but this one is a solution, so I think it's worth exploring, and we can talk about why I don't particularly like this version. I think it's more complicated, especially for a beginner to use. But we can look at it. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually start with input validation first, rather than start with the array, and then kind of build out from there. All right, so let's go ahead and make sure we've got the array in place anyway. Five numbers. We're going to need this time something to track our position within the array, which I'm going to call index. And we're just going to start with the input validation. So we're going to use the race one. So remember, race is repeat, ask, check, exit. Okay, so while true, that's a repeat in place. And we're going to say print, please enter a number between 6 Okay, now you can see why we set the array index to 0 at the start. Okay, so array index equals int input. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we do the check. So if array index is less than 1 or array index is greater than 6. Okay, we can then display the error. So this is the whole error bit. Okay, and then we get to the else. Now, normally at this point we'd break, but we want to do a loop. So what we want to do is we want to give the option and check what it is. So to do that, the first thing we're going to have to do is increment index. So index equals index plus 1. And then we can go ahead and we can check if we are out of space in the array. So remember, there's 5 values in the array, so that goes from 0 to 4. So if index is equal to 5, then we're out of space on the array. At that point, we can just go ahead break. Okay, so this is the program. So what we've got is we're using this to step through the positions in the array. The while loop will keep going through each part. Okay, and then when it gets the last one, it breaks. So let's see that operation. So if we run it, yeah, my Visual Basic background there. Let's go again. Okay, so if I put in the normal 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it works. Okay. If I do it this time, but step outside it, so 0, then we get the error. And again, because it's not doing that else line, we're not incrementing the counter. We can go above it. Okay, until we do the right one. Then it works. Okay, so what we're doing with this program is, at this point, the input validation is here, and we're handling the array inside it. I think it's a little bit more advanced than maybe a beginner would like, because we're having to use this index, we're using the incrementing counter as we go step through and make sure we're in the right place. So I think it can be a little bit harder for people to understand. We're also introducing this nested if here. And what we're doing is we're checking that if it's valid, that it's checked for the break condition. Okay, so there you go. Input validation using arrays, 5 numbers from 1 to 6.